We are nearing the end of the road. The end of the road until this year's most anticipated game releases, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. At the time of recording, we have gotten many trailers and a gameplay demo. Now that the final trailer has been released, I think I've got enough information to predict what is going to happen in the game. So with that out of the way, my name is NintendRo, and today I'm going to be giving my predictions for Tears of the Kingdom alongside the NintenTrio, as well as two very special guests, so stay tuned at the end of the video to see who they are. Cue the intro. So what do we know so far? Well, we know that the same Hyrule from before still exists, but there are some very obvious differences with these Zonai-esque patterns on grass, as well as some new spiral and tower-like structures formed too, not to mention the islands in the sky and the underground, which are the main new addition to the game. New items and abilities also make an appearance, as well as vehicles. You can drive a car, balloon, hovercraft, and more in the new game. Oh, and Ganondorf is back. And damn he fit! Looking better than ever. In Aonuma's gameplay, we were shown Link's new abilities, with the first one being Recall. This was the very first ability we saw way back in the E3 teaser back in 2021. This allows Link to reverse time and can be used to either send projectiles back to enemies, or, what looks like the only way, travelling up to Sky Islands. Then we have Ascend, which is another one which we saw in the E3 teaser where Link ascends through ceilings, which saves Link from having to scale large walls. The speedrun abuse with this ability is going to go crazy, I can tell you guys that already. The next one is another speedrun abusive ability, Ultra Hand, which was first shown off in the gameplay demo. This allows you to take objects you see around you like logs or fans to create vehicles or other stuff. We've seen examples of these in previous trailers where Link is driving a car, a hot air balloon, hovercraft and more. These were all created using the new Ultra Hand ability, and the creativity with this mechanic can be endless. I mean, you can make a mech to fight a stone talus. Is that crazy or what? And finally we have the ability which generated the most memes on the internet, Fuse. Merging a weapon and an item or two weapons together to make something completely new with more attack power. Examples which were shown are combinations of a stick and rock to make a makeshift hammer, a Keese eyeball and an arrow to make a homing arrow, an elemental choo-choo jelly with an arrow to make elemental arrows. We were only shown ice choo-choo jelly in the demo, but I would assume that we could do the same with the other variations too. But the question which is on everybody's mind, what will a meat arrow do? That'll probably be one of the first things I try to find out in the game when it arrives. We also got a look at new enemies called Constructs who drop Zonai related items when they are defeated. Again, like the Faron region, connecting the Zonai lore to the game. We haven't seen any form of Guardians from Breath of the Wild in any trailers, so maybe these guys are their replacement? We've got these small guys plus this big dude who looks like a Construct kind of guy, and this guy who looks like a friendly Construct. And finally, that epic final trailer. This trailer was packed to the brim with so much cool stuff that went on for us to talk about. Loads of Zonai markings are seen on various areas across Hyrule, a new form of towers are visible, or at least what appears to be towers. Hateno and Kakariko look different, Castletown have camps. There's also these green spiral things spread across the land too, as well as Sky Islands. Dungeons returning? I think so, as clearly this thing emerging out of the desert has got to be a dungeon. And that mysterious redhead dude. I mean, come on, that has got to be Demise. Zelda is gonna die, the desert is sinking, massive underground section. Is that Destiny's Bounty from Ninjago? Floating bubbles, Mission Impossible, glider suit, villagers fighting alongside you, Sidon and Riju and Tulin fighting alongside you too? My dream has come true. No longer must we watch my boy Sidon from the distance, but he fights with us. Partners for life. Also new mystery characters. Who are these dudes? Big Zonai looking dude back at the Sanctum, new Zelda look, spear on a shield, Death Star, escorting villagers on a fused wagon, you can fly a rocket, moon gravity blocks in the air, minecart battle underground, Talus versus fused rock mech, Ruby Arrow, new boss dude, Ganondorf. What the actual, he looks so good. More from Mario 64 backrooms, Molduga's getting obliterated, did I say Sidon is back? Gleeok? What? Also, who at Nintendo cooks so well? Like, Michelin star chef type cook. So hard that they added a saxophone to the mix. A saxophone. This trailer had no reason to go so hard. If this trailer didn't convince you that this wasn't a good game, I honestly have no words for you. Whew. Well, now that I've lost my breath on that, let's talk about things we haven't really seen yet. So first, Let's talk about the runes. Well, by the looks of things, I don't think we'll be getting any runes back from the old game, and I'll tell you why. Cryonis now has no point, as we could use the new Ultra Hand ability and create vehicles to cross bodies of water with ease. I don't think Magnesics will come either, as it looks like the Ultra Hand ability can pick things up too. Bombs might appear, though I think it has quite a less chance, as we could probably fuse the items together to make our own bombs, or maybe with the Ultra Hand ability. Stasis, on the other hand, is one I'm not too sure about. The closest ability to this might be Recall, where time stops and reverses, but maybe these runes could return as part of a DLC, or maybe a post-game? Now what about the camera rune, which you get at the Hateno Ancient Lab? This rune was quite helpful in the original, as you could track materials with it, so this might return. I'm hoping so, at least. The Sheikah Slate does appear to be in the game, though it has a new Switch-like design. Not sure what its purpose is in this game, as it appears that all of Link's new abilities are connected to his hand, but I guess we're gonna have to wait and find out. Onto characters. We've seen a lot of changes and a lot of new characters, so let's break this down. Firstly, Demise. This dude has got to be Demise. The long red flame-like locks, grey skin, scaly body, it has got to be. We see two other mystery characters, one being this girl. She's got a lot of Zonai jewelry and markings, but noticeably are her earring and the tear on her necklace. Now, why is this significant? Well, this exact tear and the earrings are possessed by Zelda herself. So this could either be Zelda transformed when she unlocks the power of what is within her tear, or maybe a Zelda from an alternate dimension, possibly a Zonai dimension. Another girl was seen from the trailer before this, and people were speculating it to be the goddess Hylia herself. Looking at this clothes this lady is wearing, Zelda is wearing the exact same in the final trailer. So it could be that all three of these people are the exact same, or maybe the Zonai lady could be Hylia, as we do know that Zelda is an incarnation of the goddess herself. Now on to the next character is this person. No idea who this is. It looks quite similar to the person in the mural we saw in the name reveal trailer, surrounded by 7 tears, which I'll talk about in a sec. Now I'm just going to throw out the wildest theory, which is probably wrong, but I could be right. We don't know for sure, but this person might have a tear of their own. So far we know that Ganondorf, Zelda, Sidon, Riju and Tulin have tears. We don't know if Link has one yet, but maybe these 3 mystery figures are the transformed versions of Link, Zelda and Ganondorf. It's a stretch, but it has the potential of being correct, as this outfit which Link was wearing does look quite similar to this figure, though if anyone is a transformed version, then it has to be Zelda. Or maybe this mystery person is the same person as the one on the mural, who might also be this mysterious voice and Zonai guy we see talking to Zelda. Now let's talk about the tears themselves. We know that there are 7 and we see 5 people possess one each. Sidon, Riju, Tulin, Zelda and Ganondorf, meaning there are 2 tears remaining. These probably are held with Impa and probably Yonobo, if he's still alive, or Link. We first get a glimpse of Sidon fighting alongside you against a construct, and in a later clip he has a tear and noticeably a crown. None of his new artworks have a crown on it. This crown is the exact same crown which King Dorephin has. Does this mean that King Dorephin is gonna die? What I think is going to happen as part of the Zora storyline is that Link must help protect the Zora tear or something. And while Sidon and Link are going to a different location and completing whatever mission they have to do, they'll come back to Zora's domain to find a mysterious person, perhaps a boss, arrive. He kills King Dorephin and he drops his crown and tear. Just as the new baddie is going to pick the tear up, Sidon knocks him down and then Link attacks and the fight begins with Link up against the baddie. When the baddie is defeated, Sidon takes the tear and mourns the death of his father, and maybe we get a cutscene of a small funeral procession? Another location which is in doubt is Death Mountain. I mean, have you seen this place? It's like malice spewing out of it. While we do see Gorons in the trailer, Yonobo is not to be found. He hasn't been in any of the trailers, unlike the other descendants, and he hasn't gotten any new art, so what's up with that? Unless Yonobo is corrupted by the malice which is spawning out of the volcano and is the boss of the Goron storyline, which would be an epic idea, I think he's dead. Speaking of the tears, does it need to be activated or something? As if we look at this Ganondorf artwork, it's clear or grey, but here it's red. Maybe the scene in the cutscene is Ganondorf activating the power of the tear, and where might the tears be collected from? Dungeons. Yep, we can clearly see that dungeons are back, as one is rising from the desert, and these sections appear to be dungeons too. While we don't see any towers from the original game appear, we do see a new type of tower, which Link can be seen elevating through here, as the Sheikah text here translates to tower. The scene with the robotic arms and the new Sheikah Slate could be from the base of the tower, or at one of the labs in Akala or Hateno. We also see these spirals coming out of the stones. This might be a way to get to the underground sections, or possibly another fast travel method to get to the Sky Islands. The Sky Islands can be another talking point, as we don't know how they got there, as they haven't been ripped from the ground, but descended from the skies. It could be a possibility that the dungeons are not just on the land of Hyrule, but also in the skies and underground. Speaking of the Sky Islands, how would the map look? I think that the map for the Sky and possibly Underground 2 would be in a separate tab in the Sheikah Slate, like the ruins and Hyrule Compendium were in the first game, and the map will automatically default to the area which you are in. So if you are in the Sky, it will only show you the areas that you can explore in the Sky, and this same concept will apply to other areas in the game too. My next prediction has something to do with the strange zonai markings which you see across Hyrule. I believe that at certain points in the game, similar to a blood moon, these will glow and allow Link to maybe transport into a different zonai dimension, or maybe to get hints to find Zelda, as it does appear that this is one main part of the game. This could work similarly to the memories in the previous game. And whilst we are still talking about blood moons, I think they're going to go crazy with them this time. They'll be much more frequent, but instead of just respawning enemies which died, more enemies, including tougher ones like Lionels, and possibly Redeads or boss will spawn, and the night will stay like a blood moon until all the enemies surrounding you are defeated. The next prediction is one I really hope would come true. There's someone sitting down, watching this video and realizes that they haven't subscribed yet? What are you doing? Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you won't miss out on more videos as part of my Road to Tears of the Kingdom marathon. Okay, back to the video. Bosses. Let's talk about bosses for a bit. So far in the trailers, we've seen various bosses. The Hinoxes and Stone Taluses return, as well as the Moldugas as seen in this brief shot here. We also see a new addition to the Bokoblin family, being the Bossblin. I think this is going to be a minor boss like a Hinox, or just a really tough enemy who players would count as bosses, like the Lionels. Other new bosses we see is this Sky Monster, this giant mech which looks straight out of Minecraft but Zonai, and this goopy worm beast which looks like something out of Splatoon. And it's probably set in the sky, as we see a lot of goop dripping across the sky, which is probably from this dude. And for the final battle, I think it will consist of 2 fights against Ganondorf, and then once he is defeated, we get to fight a 4-phased demise. In game it shows that he's defeated and gone, but in a post-credit scene, he will re-emerge and the game cycles repeat back to Skyward Sword. Another theory which was notified to me by a fan and good friend of mine, Microwave Spaghetti, really caught my attention. He pointed out that in Skyward Sword, Fi says, when talking about Demise, that his residual consciousness has been absorbed into the Master Sword and is now sealed away. But if we look at the new art for the all-new Master Sword, it looks kinda busted up. Looks burnt as though something came out of it. That something could be Demise, and that is how he got out, and this is how the Zelda timeline ends here and loops right to the beginning of Skyward Sword. Anyways, I think you guys have heard enough of my voice, so I'm going to hand the mic over to my NintenTrio buddies, starting with my first collab, Crazytendo. Take it away, man.
Thanks, Ro. So, one of my Tears of the Kingdom predictions that I originally was going to say in this video was Demise and Ganondorf, but that already got confirmed in this last trailer. But something else that's really interesting to me that got confirmed was in this clip where we see Link fighting alongside the champion descendants, which got me thinking, what does this mean? Honestly, it could be multiplayer, I think, where the second player plays the champion descendants and you can fight together. A lot of times in the trailer we do see Link fighting alongside other NPCs, so maybe it's a bit of a stretch, but honestly, it would be just so cool to have another multiplayer Zelda, but this time in a 3D environment. I also doubt that the CPU would be controlling such important characters like the champion's descendants in battle, because honestly, if they are powerful, like good characters, then it would be kind of a cheat. But if they aren't, and it's meant to be balanced, then why have them there at all? So honestly, maybe it's a bit of a stretch, but we might get some multiplayer thing for The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I want to thank you, NintendRo, for letting me be part of this video. I'm glad I got to say this Tears of the Kingdom prediction.
Thanks, Crazy. You might be onto something with your multiplayer idea. Though the CPU idea might be the way they go, as you might want to play single player. Right, on to the next person, who is another based content creator and member of the NintenTrio. The mic is yours, Crazytendo.
Thanks, Ro. With The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom just around the corner, there's a lot of things that us fans, Nintendo fans, or Legend of Zelda fans can look forward to. Originally, I was thinking that maybe, we would see Demise, and, we would see, dungeons return, and maybe even underground segments, but thanks to that recently released third trailer, it looks like all those things are possible. So then that got me thinking, what else could we see? This prediction probably isn't as big of like a story thing as, you know, the other predictions that are probably in this video, but I think we'll see a Xenoblade Chronicles 3 side quest. In The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, there was in fact a Xenoblade Chronicles 2 side quest, because the creators of that game, Monosoft, also helped with The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Monosoft is also helping with The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, so I definitely feel like that it is entirely possible that they have some sort of side quest that kind of promotes Xenoblade Chronicles 3 in some way. Obviously, like I said, this isn't such a big thing, but I think this would be kind of cool to see. You know, obviously, having side quests from other Nintendo games in the game, and heck, with the recently announced Splatoon 3 Splatfest, that is a crossover with the Legend of Zelda series, I think it'd be sick to see some sort of Splatoon crossover somewhere in The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I want to thank Ro once again for giving me the opportunity to give my prediction of The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, and I'm going to give the mic back to him.
My guy could have said any prediction for the game, and the first thing he thinks is Xenoblade? Damn, Chris, what happened to you? Finally, we move on to our last two creators, and they're massive ones too. I've teased this in the Discord, but it appears that you guys actually thought that I was talking about the game coming to Switch? Nah. After helping on the Discord side of things for him, it's time we finally got together on a video. Started watching him about 3 years ago, and here we are today. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to hand over to the one and only, the legend himself, Nintendo Land. The stage is yours, dude.
What's up everybody, it's Landon from Nintendo Land, and I actually have one big theory. I actually made a whole video about this theory because I'm so confident that this is going to happen. Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom seem like they are big games, and not only for the series, but for ending the series as well. My theory is that this is the end of the current Legend of Zelda cycle. All the games that we have played up until now, this is the end, and this is going to end the current cycle that we're in, and Nintendo might be preparing for a big new cycle with more Zelda games. We saw Skyward Sword started off, and it looks like Tears of the Kingdom is going to call back to things that happened all the way since the beginning with Skyward Sword, with the potential of Zelda even returning back to her form of Goddess Hylia, and maybe even seeing the return of Demise. I think we might actually see the end of the Ganon curse that's plagued Hyrule since time began, and we might actually finally see him wiped from history. I think it's going to have an absolutely tear-jerking ending that not only imprisons and seals away Ganon for the end of eternity, but might also seal away Goddess Hylia, which is also Zelda, bringing Link to one of the most emotional journey endings that we've ever seen. So yes, my prediction is that Tears of the Kingdom is going to be the end of the current Zelda timeline as we know it, before an eventual soft reboot and a change for the series.
Now onto our last creator, and it's a big one. I teased him too with Nintendo Land, but it looks like none of y'all still got it. A huge inspiration for me as a content creator, and I've been a fan for many years, as well as being a part of their Discord family for over 2 years now. One of the creators of the Nintendo Tonight podcast and Switch Stop, here is the legend himself, Thomas from the Switch Stop. Take it away, man.
Thanks, NintendRo. My biggest wish for Breath of the Wild is the ability to rebuild Hyrule. We all know that crafting and building is a huge mechanic thanks to the fuse ability, and we saw those massive vehicles in the actual trailer for this game and the gameplay demo. That stuff is so cool. But it also looks like you can probably maybe rebuild like houses and statues and monuments and stuff. I mean, you're able to build whatever. This world is your sandbox. So being able to actually rebuild parts of Hyrule to get them to their former glory before the Great Calamity, that would be one of the coolest things ever. My favorite part about the original Breath of the Wild is all of Hyrule. The world of Hyrule there is an absolutely beautiful place to explore, and it looks like it's only gotten better in Tears of the Kingdom. My one problem with that version of Hyrule though was that after you beat Ganon, pretty much nothing happened. You didn't get to see a rebuilt version of Castletown. Not even the actual castle itself got fixed. It still had Ganon's malice all over it. It just made completing the game feel not really eventful. Whereas Tears of the Kingdom can definitely rectify this by including a completionist ending where you rebuild Hyrule, bringing materials to travelers who need them, rebuilding houses, kinda like the Terrytown side quest, but for the entire world. Then boom, after you 100% rebuild all of Hyrule, maybe it unlocks a secret ending cutscene or something. I don't know, I think this would be absolutely incredible. Let us know down in the comments below though if this is something you're interested in as well. And again, NintendRo, thank you for having me on, man, it's an honor.
Thank you so much, Thomas, for coming on. It was a true honour to work alongside my biggest inspirations for YouTube. Can't wait for the next one. If you haven't already, subscribe to the Switched Up YouTube channel as they make based content. And subscribe to Nintendo Tonight too for podcasts. And subscribe to Nintendo Land 2 for more epic content and game theories. Another person who helped me kickstart my YouTube career. Never in a million years would I have ever thought that I'd get the chance to work with both Thomas and Nintendo Land on one video. And if you want to see more content by me, subscribe to the NintenTrio, where I complete wacky challenges with my fellow content creator buddies, Crazytendo and Crazytendo, who you should also sub to. Well, hope you guys all enjoyed my predictions, and like Thomas said, leave your predictions in the comments down below on what you hope to see in the game, and until next time, take care and peace.